Okay, so now that the initial shock of it's still the same day as when I was talking about the attack, invasion of Russia into the Ukraine in 2022. I wanted to talk about something a little bit more optimistic. I know it's a little bit, it's a lot. Most people sort of documenting what's going on is I don't think I'm the only one that's a little dumbfounded at this moment, and to get a sense of like everybody's just taking a deep breath and trying to figure out what's going on across the world. And most people that I see, they're I don't know. To me, I feel like I'm like maybe I'm the only one that's thinking about this, but it seems pretty heavy at this moment. However, very heavy at this moment because nobody really understands what's going on, what this all means. I do know that things tend to look really bad at the beginning. For who knows whether this is going to be like bad or worse. However, you just kind of soldier on and keep going. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with investing. And you're probably worried about, many of you are thinking about, what should I do with my investment? Should I continue to keep investing? And, I am not an investment professional, go find somebody. But for me, what I am doing, I'm going to continue on to keep investing day in and day out. That's not going to stop. And I think that's like crazy important. I was thinking about all these different threats that we have and all these sort of risks and worries and all those kind of things. But I'm going to keep investing. I think that's the only thing that you can possibly do. We do know that it is important to do that. I mean, one of the most amazing things that you will notice is if you look back at all the major crises that we've experienced over the years, and the stock market continues to go up, and companies continue to grow, and that's because we find a way. Human beings are really ingenious, we're really smart, and that's what companies are. Companies are just groups of people that have figured out something to serve a market niche, and once that market niche, something happens to it, for example, companies cannot sell to Russia anymore, and Russia can't sell to them anymore. That's what we know at this moment. There's a big market, and Russia's going to really feel it. But there's lots of American companies that are going to feel it too in response to that, unfortunately. But that's what we need to do. I actually strongly agree with those actions, diplomatic actions. But what does that mean? That means that, well, we've got to figure out a way, right? And how do we get around this is we have to be innovative. Think about the different possible ways that you can grow those revenue streams that you might have had before. I know that's tough to say and to say out loud for some people, but that's the reality we live in. That's not going to change anytime soon. You might get angry at me for sort of talking about that and being open about it, but the reality is this is what's going to happen as long as these efforts go on. And we simply have to take a look at what's going on and negotiate the context, right? And we can get upset and do a bunch of lobbying and all that kind of stuff. That's not going to really change anything. The way that you might be able to get around this is to look at it and say, hey, you know what, this sucks. However, let's find a different way. Let's get a workaround and figure out what this workaround actually is, or find a different revenue source that might actually be more profitable in the long run anyways and less risk prone. I think that is really important to think about. And so as investors, right, many of us are investors and sort of thinking about what we could do. The only thing we could do is just keep doing what we're doing. And that doesn't change. It's just moving forward, right? It's like, you see, it's actually pretty incredible, right? Like in war-torn countries where, the countries are destroyed. There's nothing left. You could look at the Second World War. You could look at Syria. You could look at many different countries around the world where this has happened. But what you end up seeing is people coming out from the dust, and we rising up and not letting oppression, not letting other people push us down. Aggressors will not push down human ingenuity. And I think that's an important thing to remember, and that's why democracy works, is because people are very smart, and we know when we're being oppressed, and we'll always find a way. Investing and profiting from investments is much about the human endeavor and the success of democracy and the human endeavor, and how ingenious and devoted and amazing human beings are. It's as much about that as it is about money, right? And that's really what we're doing when we're investing, is we're looking at who is going to keep rising up to the challenge and doing it day in and day out. Instead of letting some things get to you, you rise up. There's going to be dust and dirt, and things are going to happen, but you just keep going, and you don't stop. Don't stop till you drop. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. And so I'm going to continue to invest. That's not going to stop. Every paycheck I get goes, I take 15%, or we take 15%, whatever we make. Big believer in that. Just like, the whole Dave Ramsey thing, if you've listened to him before or heard from him, you just keep going, taking that one step day in and day out. That doesn't change. And we will go through crises. We've gone through so many different crises over the last 100 years, and the stock market continues to go up. And that is very symbolic of how democracy wins at the end of the day. Human ingenuity wins. The people doing things to solve other people's problems and being helpful wins. All of those things is very symbolic of the good things that we actually do in this world. It's really what it is. That's what democracy and capitalism actually is. It's looking to see what we can do and solve the problems of other people and try to solve those particular problems. And doing that day in and day out, no matter what goes on. All right, that's all I want to talk about. Remember to keep investing, keep going, don't stop. It's a tough day for, if you're looking at this, tough day if you've got relatives in Europe. My thoughts and prayers are with everybody that's in Ukraine, bordering countries. And I think we're in for something, whatever that something is. I don't know. Nobody knows, but I don't think it's positive. So just keep going. Don't lose faith. Just keep plugging along. That's it. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day.